Well, hello. I want to thank you so much for popping in and joining me on this movie review of The Sound of Freedom. The movie's been out for a little bit over a week right now, and right before I came on here to record this, I just took a quick picture. I did a check-in to see the ticket sales of The Sound of Freedom, which has been blowing out Indiana Jones movie premiere. It's been blowing out the sales of that movie. And so when I checked the movie sales right now, Sound of Freedom has sold an official 7,064,909 tickets. That is incredible. So just think for a moment how many people, fingertips, computers, cell phones have been just punching in ticket orders. Not only have people ordered tickets for themselves, but they have also pitched in and clicked on the pay it forward option for this film, where people who don't have the funds to watch Sound of Freedom actually have a ticket waiting for them so they can watch this truth-a-mentary. It's more than a documentary, it's a truth-a-mentary, so that people can watch this truth-a-mentary for free. So before I get started on this movie review, first of all, if you do like what I am presenting, if you like the content, please like and please subscribe. I would deeply, deeply appreciate that. And also, because of the nature of this truth-a-mentary Sound of Freedom, because of the innocent children that are being trafficked, because of the innocent children that are being murdered, I just want to take a moment and say a little prayer before I get into this truth-a-mentary review. So I'm going to close my eyes. And I just want us to take 3 deep inhales with our nose, and we're going to exhale with our mouth. So first inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Second inhale. Exhale through the mouth. And last inhale. Exhale through the mouth. And just take a moment with your eyes closed or your eyes open, whatever is comfortable. Just think of Earth, Pachamama, Mother Earth, and think of all of the continents that surround Pachamama. And when you think of all of the continents, think of all of the states, provinces that encompass each part of the continent on the globe. Then zoom in. And what do you see inside of the cities, the municipalities, the towns, the villages? And let's zoom in even deeper. Let's zoom in on apartments, houses, backyards, front yards, vacant lots, lakes, rivers, beaches, jungles, rainforest. Trafficked children can be anywhere on the planet. So they could be on any of these locations, on islands. I think we all know about Jeffrey Epstein's island of torture. So I just want to take a moment to think in every single pocket, every single location on sacred Mother Earth, Pachamama, and I just want to send blessings to all the children out there that are being trafficked at this very moment as I speak these words. Bless every single child out there. Please let them know that they are not forgotten, that they are seen, that they are loved, that they are cared about. And every child that has not survived being trafficked, every child that has been murdered, every child that has been murdered to have their organs harvested, I just want to take this moment to think and bless every single child that has ever been involved in any way, shape, or form in any kind of horrendous trafficking or organ harvesting. And we send them our love. And that's why this movie, this Truth-A-MENTARY Sound of Freedom, is so important right now. This film is so successful because a lot of people are seeing it, buying tickets, yes, but more importantly, this Truth-A-MENTARY is causing a lot of people to have spiritual awakenings. Maybe people that, weren't awakened before. They're awakening now. And this is exactly what we need, because it is people, the more and more people that band together and wake up and rise right now and rise their level of consciousness and rise their awareness, that's how things like children being trafficked can be stopped and abolished, and we can step into a new earth. We can step into a more peaceful way of being. So with Sound of Freedom, this topic, children being trafficked, it is very, very, very difficult to talk about, to see, to think about, to hear about. So I wasn't sure when I walked into the theater for Sound of Freedom what I was going to be walking into. I'm a very sensitive person. I'm an empath. So for me, I definitely was nervous. I don't watch even movies that have anything bad happen to animals. Yet I knew I had to see Sound of Freedom because it's our mission, every person on the planet, to help others wake up. And if I see the film, I can help bring awareness. I know how to talk about the film. And in hopes, of course, that other people are going to see this Truth-A-MENTARY and also share what is happening to children. So what I want to say is that this Truth-A-MENTARY is extremely gentle about a horrendous subject. You don't see anything in the Truth-A-MENTARY as far as what is happening to the children when they are being raped, when they're being abused. You don't see firsthand what happens. So in that respect, in that regard, the Truth-A-MENTARY is very gentle in that way. It is still very emotional, very, very emotional. So bring your tissues. Definitely bring your tissues. If you've got a stuffed animal that you love to cuddle, bring your stuffed animal. Bring whatever is going to bring you comfort and love when you watch this Truth-A-MENTARY. The other thing I want to say is that Sound of Freedom does not, inside of the Truth-A-MENTARY itself, does not go into or even mention organ harvesting of children, okay? So that's something that is completely left out of the Truth-A-MENTARY. However, if you would like to learn more information about it, Tim Ballard, I'm not sure of the correct pronunciation, he has done several interviews where he is talking about the organ harvesting that is also occurring to children. So I would highly recommend doing a YouTube search for Tim Ballard and his interviews, and so that you can really learn a lot more about what is happening to the organ harvesting of children as well. My hopes is that that particular subject in the under the umbrella of child trafficking is going to be coming to light more and talked about more, so that it increases the awareness as well of what's happening out there with organs and children. The other thing I want to say is that because this Truth-A-MENTARY Sound of Freedom is so incredibly successful right now, you have some mainstream media outlets that are tying this Truth-A-MENTARY to QAnon. I'm not going to go into detail about that because I feel like that's just me chiming into and supporting some lies and bullshit, and I don't do that. So what I will say is that here's one thing to keep in mind, okay? Whenever something comes out that is depicting the truth, however disturbing it is, such as children being trafficked, that means to me that whatever media outlets are spewing out stories that are not true, the reason why they're doing that is to distract you, to deflect. Because if you start focusing on the lies that they're reporting, well, then you're not going to focus on the truth. And you're not going to focus on children being trafficked. And you're not going to want to do something about it. And you're not going to want to stop it. And that's exactly what the media and the people behind that are betting on and hoping for. So, by not engaging with those kind of false stories and false narratives of what the mainstream media is reporting about this film and false ties, when you just ignore it. And when you focus on the truth and when you focus on what's really happening, that's where we make a difference. That's where we stand in our power. That's also when we stand in our power to let the mainstream media know that, guess what? We're not gullible anymore. We're not asleep anymore. We don't believe a bunch of bullshit lies and stories, and we're not going to be distracted from things that are true because we're waking up. The acting in this film is phenomenal. I mean, it's phenomenal. The storytelling, it's very powerful. It's very real. It's very, very compelling. I can't say enough good things about Sound of Freedom, and all I have to say about this Truth-A-Mentary is just glowing, glowing love and support and gratitude for this beautiful, beautiful Truth-A-Mentary that was made 5 years ago. And because of the subject matter, it was very hard for the Angel Studios, for the producers, to actually get this Truth-A-Mentary out to the public in theaters. But with a lot of fundraising and a lot of people coming together, especially Tony Robbins really doing an amazing support for this Truth-A-Mentary. Because of so many people banding together, thankfully Sound of Freedom is out in the theaters, and look at the presence that it's making. So I really hope that when you can, you will see that Truth-A-Mentary. And please spread the word, spread awareness. Let's keep waking up. Let's keep waking up. In closing, I write songs sometimes, and so I want to share a song that I have written. I wrote this some time ago, way before this Truth-A-Mentary Sound of Freedom came out, but I would like to share it with you. It's called Ready Your Heart. And here we go. Ready your heart for the changes unfolding. Ready your heart for the light that is shining. Ready your heart for the peace that surrounds you. Ready. You are the light that you are seeking, from the mountains to the rivers. Your love is beaming. You are the light shining so bright, illuminating the path so others can join you in this dance. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. And I bless this Truth-A-Mentary Sound of Freedom Thank you all so much. Anybody and everybody that is attached to this Truth-A-Mentary, thank you for spreading the word. Thank you for letting the children know that they are not forgotten. And thank you for letting the world know that God's children are not for sale. Peace.